Today, we are continuing our supply chain conversation with Duff Davidson and Chris Oechsel. Made4Net and ZEFCON aren't the only companies experiencing change. Over the past 2 years, supply chain disruptions have been significant and widespread. What are the biggest supply chain challenges you see on the horizon?
There were a lot of things that we've had to deal with over the past 15 years in terms of economic upturns and downturns, but I don't think we've ever faced anything that had the kind of impact that the pandemic and the shutdowns had. Was the transformation from going to a store and buying something to going to your computer and having it delivered to your door. What that's done is that's created the need for technology that can really support the unique aspects of the distribution model that are really e-commerce and business to consumer specific. So for most of our customers, the biggest challenge was, how do we do the shift from shipping to the big box retailers to the consumers directly? Fortunately for us, the software already had built-in capabilities, and we had been doing B2C types of distribution for really since the very beginning, almost 20 years. So many of our customers thrived in this period, and then many other customers came to us and said, how can we take advantage of the capability that already exists? The supply chain disruptions created havoc within the supply chains for people that were leaning upon lean supply chains and just-in-time manufacturing. There wasn't enough product in the supply chain, in the warehouses, for the manufacturers to be able to meet the demand that customers were having. And I think that's why we saw a lot of the disruptions. So that's going to shift now. I think companies are building their inventories larger. It means that our customers are going to need to have more space for more inventory, which also ties into the cost of that space right now in this economy, and also the challenges of finding good labor to man the extra space and the extra buildings that they have.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're seeing a lot of that as well, and across, whether it be globally or domestically from that standpoint is really, there's a lot of different factors and challenges, but it's the need to, as we call it, the speed to pivot, right? The tagline from a Made4Net perspective, but the ability to change with the customers. That customer demand is continuing to change things out there. But then you throw in, you talked a little bit about, kind of that safety stock in regards to you got to build up your inventory levels, but then you hear from the retailers. I read an article today about what Christmas may bring and all the challenges along with that. So they built up their safety stock, and now they're still trying to get rid of that from sales, which also drives disruption in the supply chains because you have higher volumes and so on. So I think you're also seeing from a global perspective the tensions within China, from that standpoint, the manufacturing shifts to other areas as well. So as they try to build up that supply, they can't get it fast enough, so they build it up higher, and now they have to pull it back, and then they have to try to balance that. So just-in-time and lean kind of gets thrown out the window. But as they start to shift manufacturing to other regions in Asia, as they start to reshore some of that, right, so they can get it at it quicker, that's also disrupting the transportation supply chain, which it causes an effect on everybody that's doing business there. So there's some global aspects of this that really make it challenging. In the article I read today in USA Today, it was very interesting around, from a retail perspective, you throw in things like you would never think about is droughts that are taking place in the U.S., Asia, and in Europe, which cause low rivers where barges aren't moving and things such as that. So you think about all the side effects, the port congestions and things like that are taking place that really affects the supply chains and allows these companies, or requires these companies, to go look for 3PLs or technology or systems that can support them, whether it be visibility or resources to labor or things such as that. So I think that's going to continue, but it might keep shifting into different buckets and different areas is what we seem to be seeing.